Hello, welcome to the yet another podcast of Career Mantras YouTube channel, the channel where you can get the mantras for career success to find your way into the corporate forest. In today's podcast, we will see about the reasons why we are not able to attain our goals and find out some ways in which we can attain that. If you have seen, every time we will used to set a goal somewhere in the December, or probably if it's your appraisal, it's around March. And then a couple of months later, we will notice that we have not made much progress in the goals despite setting it clearly. So, what are some of the reasons why probably we haven't done that? Before going into that, it's important to understand why is that the goals are important. There are two main reasons why the goals are important. One, it's very important to understand the direction in which I should apply my energy and the activities for which I need to apply my energy. For example, if I have to become a tech architect, it is meaningless to spend activities which don't make me a tech architect. That's reason number one. And secondly, if you see your career from a 20-year perspective, it's nothing but a string of goals which is stitched together. If you don't have goals, you will not know where are you going to end up after 20 years. Forget even 20 years, even after 5 years, you will not know where are you landing up. Apart from this, there are two other reasons why it's important. One, you will not know how for what activities you will say no. How do you say no even as a framework? Second, a lot of your happiness depends on how much you're able to progress in goals, and a lot of your opportunities is something which you'll be able to see only if you have goals. Now, having understood why goals are important, we'll come to the section why can't we achieve goals? There are a few reasons why probably you don't achieve a goal. Let's assume that your goal is to become a program manager. It's probably that you don't have a detailed plan of how you, as a project manager today, will become a program manager. Probably you have to sign up for a course, or probably you have to speak to your manager, or probably you have to work with another program manager to learn the trade. Probably nothing has happened. Or probably it's a goal which you don't have any emotion. Like you have set up a goal, but you don't have any positive emotion of meeting that goal. Or it could be a wrong size of the goal. Probably you have set a goal that you want to become a VP of a company in another 2 years, which is probably an incorrect size for your capability. The other reason could be that you have a wrong mental model about achievement. In some cases, I have observed that people feel that achievement is a wrong word, or probably they feel that achievement is something which is reserved for the best of the best. That could be a reason. Or you have multiple goals and you have not prioritized the right set of prioritized goals in that. Now, if you have the right goal, the right path, what could go wrong? Probably except luck. But let me tell you, there is one important reason why you probably may not be able to meet your goal, and that happens on a daily basis. Now, to understand this better, it is important to have a framework of how do we see the set of activities which is necessary to meet the goal. I have a framework to understand and slot these activities. On the x axis, I have the challenging and not challenging legend, and on the y axis, we have pleasurable or not pleasurable activities. So let's take an example here. Suppose if you want to become a program manager or manage a complex program, there can be many activities which is necessary for you to do that. For example, it could be that you have to devise a program structure or a team design for the program. It could be that you have to create team bonding activities, publish status reports frequently, negotiate hard with the clients, and take up a course to understand program management. If you try to slot these activities, you can see that they fall into different quadrants. So, for example, devising a program structure could be a very challenging activity and also very, very pleasurable. On the other hand, publishing status report is not so super challenging. At the same time, it's not so very pleasurable also. Negotiation is a very challenging activity, but it's not very pleasurable sometimes. Team bonding is not at all challenging, and it's super happy to do it. Now, think about what is your approach in each of these activity. When you get a challenging and a pleasurable activity, probably you will try more to do it. Whereas if you get a not challenging and not pleasurable, you'll try to avoid it. Whereas all of these activities are necessary to make and meet your goal. If you neglect those activities which is not challenging or which are not pleasurable, then you are not going to meet your goal. So you need a strategy of how you are going to manage each of this quadrant, especially the not challenging ones and the not pleasurable ones. But sometimes it is possible that even a challenging activity could probably stop you from meeting the goal. So what do we do about all these activities? What is the strategy for? I have a set of steps which you can follow to, to have a strategy of how to execute these activities. One, frequently focus on the outcomes of this activity. The activity by itself could be boring, but the outcome it is going to achieve is going to probably motivate you. Systemize activity. So, for example, if it's a status report, you might want to say that Friday 3 p.m. I'm going to send a status report. And these are the 4 steps which I'm going to follow to publish a status report. When you reduce the uncertainty and the chaos around these activities, you can probably get the job done easier. Other than that, there are many other techniques that you can follow. One is to stay put. Sometimes it happens that initially some of the activities are boring, but once you get a feedback, you will find that those same activities are interesting. Sometimes you can automate it. Chat GPT or writing small programs, publish reports are possible. You can delegate it, or sometimes if it's really tough, you can start pairing with a tech lead or your business analyst to get started on this activity. BPT is another technique which I frequently use. BPT is a time which is called as biological prime time. In the book by Chris Bailey, he says that match the toughness of the activity with your prime time. So, for example, if it's a program design, which is a very tough activity, and if 6 p.m. is my prime time where I'm bubbling with my energy, then you have to start doing those activities in those times. Always have a micro motivation for every activity. Think about what is that will motivate you. Maybe sometimes even if you want to listen to a song and then parallel do it, that could also be a motivation. It sounds silly, but sometimes it's very useful. Revalue the situation. It's very similar to the outcomes one. Sometimes when you reframe, or revalue the activity, you will find that the motivation comes in. So this is my recommendation. You have your goal and you have the set of activities. Those set of activities will follow under different quadrants based on whether it's challenging, not challenging, pleasurable or not pleasurable. For each of this quadrant, have a strategy of how we are going to execute it. We saw many suggestions, including to delegate it or to pair with someone or to be patient or systemize those outcomes and all that. If you do all these activities in a consistent way, in probably 3 to 4 months' time, you will find that you have met a good portion of the goal, and that by itself has given a lot of confidence to meet and maybe set a bigger goal and meet it. If you like this video, kindly like the YouTube video and then subscribe to my channel. Thank you.